Pantham Manuchareem Surya Chandramasa Vivam Punardata Nata Janata Sangame Mahim. Devotees, we're on our journey to God, and this must be realized. For instance, there is an old story, perhaps known by you. A gentleman had a dog with a curved tail, and he decided to experiment by making the tail a straight one. So he hired a servant with a drum full of oil, 45 gallons, and he told him, take this oil and anoint the tail of the dog, try and straighten it. And the servant started, and after several days, running to a month, the oil finished and the tail was just as before. So the writer of these stories are telling us, some of us, just like the dog's tail. Not all of us. They had two friends. You will understand it better. Very good friends, bosom friends. One was snatched away at an early age. It grieved the other. But what can he do? All of a sudden, this friend who was snatched away with the hands of God visit him at night and say, friend, I am the messenger of death. I am the chosen son of God. And he was very glad, the ones that was alive. I'm very glad, because at least you will give me an ultimatum. When you will be ready for me, he says, sure, why not? 4. And he vanished. And this was a sporty friend encouraged by his Srimati, the wife, the devoted wife, so to say. And after a number of years amassing money, one day he looked at his face in the mirror, and the mirror told him, gray hairs appearing on your head. And he informed his beloved, the wife, said, darling, this is the time now, we should study God. Look at my hair. The wife told him, easy matter. You have a remedy for that. They have dye for the hair. Go and dye your hair. He dyed his hair and he looked in the mirror and it was jet black. And he decided to sport again. After some time, he noticed that his eyes were getting dim and he appealed to his Srimati. Srimati ji, the eyes are getting dim. It's time for us to study God a little now. He said, oh no, what do you think they have opticians for? Go and get a pair of glasses. It was all right again. Started to speak. And in a few mornings the teeth dropped off. He said, darling, look at my mouth now. It's time to study God. He said, oh no, you have dentists. Go and replace them. It was all right again. And after a few mornings more, the ears decide to deceive him, not hearing good. He said, darling, now is the time to study God. He said, oh no, let's go and get an earphone and it will be all right. And it was all right. And in the midst of the spring, there came the friend. I said, I'm ready for you. He said, but friend, you promised to notify me, to tell me that you are coming. And how is it that you have deceived me? He said, no. I have sent you 4 letters in the form of summons by the Lord. He said, no. He said, yes. The first letter I sent to you was the gray hairs. Can you remember what you told the mirror? Then, and so on. The eyes, the teeth, the ear. And now we are quite ready for you. So in this world, according to this story, we have to prepare from youth to reach this God, to realize this God. Or else you will be like the man who had a cow, been giving a gallon milk per day, and he wanted to do his father's barkeep year work, and 3 months remained, and decided to let go the cow in the pasture, and after 3 months he will go and he will get 90 gallons of milk one day. The cow dried up, no milk. So we are acting just like these people. We must realize that the holy books are saying, ye mankind, bhasmantam gwam shariram, one day this body will have to be reduced, whether to ash or to dirt. And always, Om Krato, remember to keep God, let God be the unseen guest in your home, in the human body. Smara, never live for yourself. Live in this way is that you live for yourself and others too. And by doing these, there is a guarantee. God has given us a guarantee in these books, is that you will enjoy a happy life here and hereafter. So may you follow these few words and be ready. Om Swasti Pantham Anucharim Surya Chandrama Savivam Punardarata Gnata Janata Sangame Mahim. Devotees, once you had a very lazy man, and he decided not to work but to eat. And when he was hated in his community, he decided to go and live between the yogis. He approached the yogi and said, Yogi ji, I will like you to give me a boon. Why? He said, I am very hungry. I need a boon that I can live without working and I may enjoy good meals every day. He said, why don't come and take a short course for 6 months, I will feed you. He said, I am not interested in that. He said, I am afraid. The yogi told him, I am afraid that the boon that I will give you, any boon at all, it will be misused. And you will find yourself vanished from the world in body. He said, oh no. All right. Here is a chatai, a mat. And this mat is a magic mat. Sit on it, close your eyes, concentrate on whatsoever you ask will be given to you. He went, sat, concentrated on food, opened his eyes, and he saw all the dishes. The dishes were written in a shlok, Shira, puri, kachori, karkari, lochi, naram, tartari, komal, mal, puach, kheer, mudri, methi, dhari, charpadi, chutney, achar, raita, keladi, and so on, so many. He was pleased, enjoyed himself, slept for a while, got up, and in his mind that this thing can work. So he concentrated on a mahal, a mansion, 40 rooms. And the mahal appeared, and he went inside with his chatai, with a magic mat, and he admired each room. He sat in it again and asked for servants to attend to this mahal. Okay, 40 servants, including gardeners and everything, acres of land. But he in mind again say, I need money to pay these servants and to exist. Okay, they were all given. Very glad. And he sat on this mat, and his mind gone wandering, all these conveniences, all this happiness, all the joy. What if an earthquake were to come, what will happen? And as he sat on this magic carpet, here comes the earthquake, and the servants, and the mahal, and he himself disappeared. So the writer of this story is telling us, all the time in the world you've been thinking good, and you've been receiving good. Why think bad? We call distress on ourselves by thinking bad. So a duty, if you are asked, how are you? I'm happy. How are the children? There are princes and princesses in my home. How is my wife? She's a queen. And if you call on happiness regularly and concentrate on happiness, happiness will come. And if you say think bad, think bad, think bad, think bad will come also. Just as the little story as a humor. A wife, a dutiful wife, couldn't go out from her house because she had to take care of the money the husband was amassing. And she asked her husband, why are you amassing all this wealth and putting me to look at it? And you are free walking. He said, we are putting it up for hard time, darling. Several people used to come and go, and she used to question them, what is your name? One day a beggar came. He said, beggar, can you tell me your name? And his nickname was, and he answered according to his nickname, that my name is Hard Time. He said, oh, for years I've been waiting on you. And he took all the money and gave it to the beggar. And she had in mind that she was free that day. So there's a wonderful sermon that was preached, and it will be told to you. And if we follow this sermon, I think we can be very happy in this world, enjoy it here, Jivan Muktan hereafter. It is written here is that the way to God lies through the heart, not the mouth. And the heart here, the spiritual heart, means the mind, and the mind means the purified mind. Contrary to this, we will be called an LP, because I'll be talking, and LP will be singing. 10 years after, the LP has in it Om Bhur Bhuva Swa Tumeva Mata Chapita, somehow or the other, when it's 10-year-old, God broken, can an LP attain emancipation? No. So it's the same thing for me and you. If we only talk with our mouth alone, it cannot work. So in here it is saying that the way to God lies through the heart. And religion is best expressed through ethics and morality. And if these are practiced, then goodness will be the price and happiness will be the reward. So it's in our hands. It is for this reason we say we have a very terrible enemy to control. And if we can conquer that enemy, we conquer the world. And that enemy is called mind, my mind. Conquest of mind is the greatest victory. And after that we will realize that God is one in all and all in one. And to define this God is to deny Him. But He is attainable through the practice of goodness, self-discipline, inquiry, and as far as possible, daily meditation, if possible, twice per day. And if it cannot be done twice a day, at least once a day or once a week. And we have to determine, we have to be careful with our thoughts. Because according to these sacred books, thought determines character. And character impels action. And action decides our future. And for this reason, a tiny verse in Hindi, हमारे कर्म हमारे हाथों के अंदर में है और जैसे बनाने चाहते हो बना सके. My destiny is in my hands and I am capable of shaping it. And here is a bold sentence: man, human being, you are a pilgrim here. And this world is a vast university. And the greatest among universities in the world, if you can attend and graduate, will be the best of devotees, the university of mistake. Every mistake made by us, we can learn so much from it. Try your best not to do it again. If it is done again, rededicate yourself. Between 3 and 4 times, we may learn not to make the mistake again. And the reformer in this world, they should reform themselves first before advising others. So here's a master sentence in Sanskrit telling us, reformer, reform thyself. And all good works are sacred. And work is workshop. But truth is found in a pure heart. And God can be realized in this pure heart also. So the service of God is through the service of humanity. To serve God is to serve humanity. And while serving humanity, expect nothing, and you shall know no disappointment. Sometimes, as Matlabhi people, we educate our children, thinking in my mind that he'll become a lawyer, he'll become a doctor, and he will serve me. I will have so much money from them, and you're disappointed because you take to their own road. And so many diseases will turn out in you. And when we do everything and we fail, then we must come to the conclusion that God knows what is best for you. And you do your duty as a trustee of the divine and as a proprietor, not as a proprietor. Do not blame others. everything for our best sometimes. And always remember, my best friend is a pure mind. Try and get a pure mind. Try your best not to hurt anyone. Try your best not to belittle anyone. Try your best not to hate anyone. Knowing Isha Vasimidam, the same Lord dwells in all. And by hurting the next man, you hurt yourself. By injuring others, you injure yourself. So you have to take care of your thoughts, and life will take care of itself. There's absolutely no doubt about this. And no one can question this. And I think it's wrong. Sin means wrong. It's a sin to be pleased with oneself. But by shutting out the possibility of progress, self-inquiry, it will lead us to a very good way. And no religion is superior and inferior to one another. If you study it in the right way, the fundamentals are alright. The rituals may differ, but mythology will never differ, and the higher part will never differ. Only ritual may differ. And these educated people in the world, they have placed it very, very nice for us in all these books. You have thousands and thousands of rivers in the world, and all the rivers, they have names, but there is one ocean. There is no partition to the ocean, but the wise name it as 5 great oceans, but it's one. And after the Ganges water reaches the ocean, it ceases to be Ganges water. It's the ocean water. After Mississippi water reaches the ocean, it ceases to be Mississippi River or Jamuna. So all the rituals, all the different names of religions, they cease before God when you reach God. The ocean is like God and the river is like the different religions of the world. And God will never, never ask you, were you a Hindu, were you a Christian, were you a Pharisee, were you a Buddhist, were you a Islamic? But He may ask you, were you good and were you doing good? So, it is nice in this world if you don't want to be hated. We should not hate others. It's a ball that is being bounced back. You don't want to be deceived, you must not deceive others. You don't want to be hurt, therefore don't hurt others. You don't want others to angry with you, therefore you must not angry with another. You don't wish others, you do not wish to be treated unjustly, treat all just. You do not wish to have evil intention towards you, therefore have good intention towards all. Do as you wish to be done by. It is the only noble ideal with a practical necessity. Do the right and be content and peaceful. It is very easy to pull down in this world than to build. And charitable in mind and action must run side by side. And in this world, no one is a fool forever. Or we can put it this way, no one is a fool always, and no one is wise at all times. Therefore must have respect for all and try your best not to condemn none. Because these scriptures, these holy books are saying God is the end, the world the means, God is the target, the world is the bow, and man is the arrow. One should profit himself by the world and not become a bridle slave to it. And love of fellow beings means we should always be helpful to others. One One cannot do selfless service and yet be self-centered. Take care of today, and tomorrow will take care of itself. And the grace of God flows equally towards all, and those who open their hearts to it realize its presence. I think this part needs a little explanation. Let's suppose we are about to have rain, and I want some pure rainwater, and I've taken a basin, so to say, I place it on Mother Earth. But because the drops, they were heavy, when I tried to get pure water, I saw that earth was in there, mud was in there. I said, all right, let me put it on the chat, on the zinc, on the top of my house. But it was not a clean basin, and therefore the water was dirty again. Then I decided to wash the basin, place it on top the house, and I receive pure rainwater. So this is the way God's grace flows equally to all. But when my basin, inside here, I have that dirt, hate, jealousy, and all these enemies I have, and the grace of God flowing, it is not right. It is not according to God's laws for me to receive His grace. I have to clean the basin first. Gatanta Sochami, we should not brood over the past, and we should not build castles in the air too. We should live in the presence. And we must try our best to be honest, honesty, truthfulness, sincerity, patient, tolerance, simplicity, humility, nobility, forgiveness, first pillar, love, compassion and courage, strength of will and mind, confidence, boldness, and selflessness are the marks of dharma, are the marks of true religion. So we should purify, concentrate, reflect, meditate, and realize, as these Swamis are saying. And then what will happen? Social harmony will step in, as we all know. Sanghashtarang, Sanghadavang, Sambhomanasi Janatam, Devo Bhagan Yata Purve Sanjanana Upasde. Hey Manishu, God talking to man. I am not saying anything to you. They're all the words of God. Milkar chalo, walk together one path. Milkar baatchit karo, let there be one voice. Tumhare man ek se vichar kare, one mind for all. Jaise, how, as was done by your ancestor, Devo Bhagin Yata Purve. Should we do these? Then it will be a must to be happy here and hereafter. May God bless you. Om Swasti Pantham Manucharim Surya Chandramasa Vivam Punardadata Nata Janata Sangame Mahim. Devotees, there is a little humor. There was a beggar who was going on a mela, and others were going too. But some of them were going in carts, some in carriages, some in motor cars, some in hired buses, and most on horses. Many were walking, and he was a walker. And as he was walking, he decided to concentrate a little on God and asking God, say, oh God, why can't you bless me and give me a horse that I also can ride and go to the bazaar, to go to the Mela? And as he was walking and talking to himself, a merchant who was passing on a horse, a cruel merchant, just near the beggar, the horse gave birth to a colt. He asked the beggar to help to clean it and demanded that he fetch this colt on his shoulders to the Mela. He refused at the beginning, but being a powerful merchant, said, look at my hand. The whip I have for the horse will be on you. And he decided to take 5 rupees to carry the colt. And then he started to concentrate on God. He said, God, I was talking to you, but it appears that you were not listening to me with both ears. I was asking you to give me a horse that I may ride the horse to the bazaar, to the Mela, and now you have sent a horse to ride him. It sounds like a joke, but many times when we pray, we find the thing opposite, and we feel that God is not responding to our prayers. But first of all, if we don't have money in the bank, can you go and withdraw money? It's different with the rishis. The first thing, you have to open an account in the bank. And then you have to go to the bank to withdraw some of your own money that you have placed in the bank. So is it with the Lord. You have to open an account with Him according to Shubhakaram, according to good action. And then He in turn will give you, when you ask, for your own money back. They had a man who was enlightened. He had 2 names. He was called Lord Dattriya, but sometimes he was called a Vadhuta. And he was a saint man who viewed ordinary incident of life in the light of spiritual experiences. One day he had 24 gurus, and not a single guru was a human being. One day he saw a dog sleeping, snoring dog, and he just made like this. And the dog opened its eyes. And he said, you are my guru. You are teaching me today how to sleep. Sometimes many of us, the husband or the wife or the children, they will take 15 minutes to wake you up in the morning. But the dog, when sleeping, just a little thing like this and it wakes. So you are my guru in this way. So one day he also found a hunter aiming at a bird with his mind absolutely fixed on the target. And a procession was passing, and the beating of drums, because it was a wedding procession, and the playing of pipes and other noises. And Dattriya said, man has taught me to make the mind one pointed in concentration, and I regard him from today as my Guru. And the hunter became his Guru. On the next occasion, he saw a man fishing with a hook in a pond. And he was looking at the end of the rod with all attention. And noise from all around. And when a passerby asked him about the way to a certain place, he did not even hear him. And Dattariya said, "Let me have this steadfast mind in my meditation. I look upon him as my teacher, for he taught me the lesson today, how to concentrate. One-pointed, listening to no man. And he is my Guru." On another occasion, Avadhuta saw a number of ants coming to a place where sand and sugar and earth lay mixed, and they carrying away the sugar particles, leaving the sand behind, leaving the earth behind. And Avadhuta said, "I have learned a great lesson from the ants, who teach how to separate the good from the bad in this world, where they are so mixed with each other. And from today, I hold the ants as my Guru." And then Avadhut once saw a bird. It's called kite. A kite flying with a fish in the bill. And many crows following it with shrill cries. And he was hustling for his life. And it was not possible for the kite to sit anywhere and enjoy its prey. Being continuously worried and troubled by the crows, he dropped the fish from his bill. And the crows ran after the fish. And then only that time this bird, the kite, was left in peace. Dattariya, who was known also as Avadhut, said, "Today I have learned a great lesson from this bird, the kite. That possession sometimes is a dangerous thing in this world. And that unless we leave aside sometimes some possessions, we cannot live in peace. And from today, you are my Guru." On another occasion, he found a crane on the point of approaching the edge of a tank, and it was playing with a fish, seeing a fish in the water. At the same time, a hunter was aiming an arrow at the crane, but the crane remained unmindful of the danger. And Avadhut saluted the crane and said, "Thou art indeed my Guru, for even the presence of danger does not disturb the concentration of the mind. And from today, O crane, you are one of my Gurus." On finding that true, the bees gather honey from the flowers, the honey is usually taken away from their hives. And Dattariya exclaimed, "This lesson I have learned from the bees. Never store anything excess for the future. It will bring miseries. And O bees, Master bee, you are my Guru." Avadhut once found a swan drinking milk out of mixture of milk and water. It is said that the swan is a bird. If you mix water and milk in one, it puts its beak and it divides the water from the milk. So it claims, oh swan, if one has to live in this world of good and evil, one must take what is good, leaving aside all that is bad. I've learned that from you today, and oh swan, you are my guru. So here was a man who did not initiate himself to any guru of gurus that were human being. And he has found 24 gurus that made him God on earth, common G-O-D. And so if we live in this world, we can learn even from the lower beasts. And God will help us, and we will be saved. May God bless you. Panthamanacharim Surya Chandrama Savivam Punardata Gnata Janata Sangame Mahim. This is a very great verse from the holy text. In short, we have the sun, and we have 9 planets going around the sun. And some of the planets, they have 9 moons. One has 9 moons, one has 12 moons. We have 1 moon going around the earth. So the earth is a satellite to the sun, and the other 8 planets, and they are going around in harmony. And the moons, they are satellite to the planets. They are going around the planets, and they are all moving in harmony. And this was happening for millions of years, and it's going to continue to happen for millions of years more to come. And nobody to refill them with oil and to see about the engine, and they're working perfectly in unison, in harmony with nature's law. Sometimes one has a wristwatch on their hand, and they say, you see this wristwatch, it costs 900 US. But maybe sometimes after 3 weeks, you have to listen to the radio for time, and the radio will listen to Greenwich Mean Time to set their clock, and Greenwich Mean Time will look up in the air on the planets to set theirs. So this verse is telling us just as how the planets are going around the sun, and the moons are going around the planets, and no quarrel, no fight. Ye mankind, why cannot you do the same? This is a very nice story I want to tell you before some moral passages for students, Madhyama, middle students. There was a man in India going on pilgrimage, and he had some money, and he has decided to give some people the money to keep. So he went to the first man. He thinks he was a nobleman. I am giving you 24 rupees to keep. Keep these rupees for me. On my return, I'll be back to talk to you about these rupees. Very good. They were accepted. And he went to a second man and gave him 7 rupees. So I am going on a tirth, and I am giving you 7 rupees. Keep these 7 rupees. I shall return within a few months, and we'll talk about these rupees. Welcome. And he went to the third man and he gave him 30 rupees to keep, telling him the same story, I'm going on a tirth. And this tirth is a wonderful tirth, you have it every 12 years. It happened 1915, you can calculate up to now. Accepted, and he went to the last man and gave him 360 rupees to keep. Say, I'm going on a date. After my return, I'll call upon you and we shall talk about these rupees. Good. He came and he went to the first man. 3 months, 90 days after, a few more pounds added to his body, complexion a little more. He said, can you remember me? No. You can't remember the 24 rupees? He said, I can't remember. He said, listen to me. Take 23 rupees. Change one of the rupees and give me a part. He said, no, I don't know you. And the rupees were not given. No rupees received. It's all right. And he went to the 7 rupee man. He said, remember me? No. He said, listen, take 6 of the rupees and return 1. Or change 1 and return a part. Very sorry, you are not known. It's all right. And he went to the 30 rupee man. He said, Mahajan, you know me? Oh no. He said, I am the man who gave you the 30 rupees to keep. I can't remember that. See the books, boy? No, no record here. He said, listen, Mahajan, take 29, change 1 and give me back a part. He said, no, your name isn't there. I can't remember such a thing. All right. And he went to the last man, 360 rupees. The same thing, denied. Never seen you. And then he talked, putting all together, he said, ye mankind, if you cannot recognize me, and you cannot give me a part of the rupee I have given you, then there will be no happiness for you and contentment on this earth. Now, the gentleman who was given the money, he is God. He has given you first 24 rupees, 24 hours, make 1 day, 1 night. Take 23, clean your car, brush your home, polish your utensils, but take a part of the rupee. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, and talk to me. Sorry. You say, all right, I am the merciful one, but I am just too. 7 rupees, 7 days, 1 week. Take 6 days. Enjoy all the comforts. 1 day per week, for a few minutes, for an hour, sit aside and give me back some time. Concentrate on me for your own good. Sorry. I am the merciful one. At the same time, just. Once a month, 30 rupees, lunar month. Take 29 days. Do all you have to do. Amass your money. Mint your money. But a part, 1 day per month, sit and talk to me. Sorry. He went to the last man. He said, look, you are amassing money for the whole year. 1 week per day, 1 day. For the week, for the whole year, you can't take some of your money and do a yag so that others can come and listen? He said, no. Then he said, listen, ye mankind, if you cannot recognize me and give me a part of the money that I have given to you, there will be no peace of mind, there will be no contentment for you. Here are a few selected moral passages for a student. It is written in Sanskrit and the translation will be given to you. Vidya dadati vinang Learning gives modesty. And by modesty, human being attains worldliness or whatness. And because of worldliness, he attains or obtains money. And with money, he is able to give charity. And from that, he attains happiness. Dharam tata sukham. Sukharti chit vidyarthina sukham. And if you want comfort, if you want 100% comfort in this world, you must give up learning. But if you desire to acquire learning, you should abandon comfort. How can a person who wants comfort acquire learning? And how can a person enjoy comfort who wants to learn? Students of today are very glad if these passages can be listened to and put into practice. Acharyat padamadate kalakramen. And remember, when you're off the university, a student gets 1/4 of his learning from his teacher, 1/4 through his own intellect, another 1/4 from the classmates, and the last 1/4 in the course of time. And if you think after graduation you're all, and you get egoistic, you'll fail at the end. Vidvittamna nritvamna manaiva tulyam kadaniyat. Scholarship and kingship can never be equal to each other. Why? A good king is honored only in his own country, while a scholar is honored everywhere who accept these moral passages. Pustakyanaya vidya, the learning which is only in books, but not brought to memory, and the monies that has been lent to others will not solve their purpose at the time of need. Remember, good. You may cram all the books, but if they are not put into use, it will be of no purpose. Nasti vidya samam chakshu, there is no eye equal to learning. There is no penance equal to truth. There is no grief equal to attachment, and no happiness equal to renunciation. And there are some sayings too of immoral passages or on wicked people. So we are asked, we should abandon the company of the wicked, although they know of the Vedas, although they know of the Shastras, or they know of the Purans. But if they are wicked, abandon their company and try to get into good company. Do virtuous deeds, if possible day and night, and always bear in mind the instability of things. A wicked person should be avoided, though he is well educated. Durjana paritvatvang vidyanang latate yakapim marinang. A serpent, though adorned with a gem, is certainly frightful. Therefore, a wicked person should be avoided, though he is well educated. Durjane samam. Do not make either friendship or enemy with some wicked people. Leave them by themselves. They have to pay for it. If the coal is hot, it burns the hand. And if it is cold, it blackens the hand. Beware and keep off from them. Upadeshete mukhyani. Their advice given. So some people will make them angry and does not pacify them. A drink of milk given to a serpent only increases the poison. We have human being as serpent, pretending to be saints. And by giving them good things to eat and adoring them, increases the poison. In India you have two birds. One is called Kaka, one is called Pika. Kaka Krishna, Krishna here means black. Pika Krishna. Ko bhed pikakayo. Basant kale praptite Kaka Kaka Pika Pika. The crow is black and also the cuckoo. And they resemble one another. And there is no difference between the crow and the cuckoo. Kaka Krishna, Pika Krishna. But during the spring, the crow is distinguished as a crow and the cuckoo as a cuckoo by their voices. When one is singing ka ka ka, you will pelt it. And while the other is singing, you will go under the tree and listen. Chaya Manasyam, the big tree provides shadow to others, but themselves stand in the sun. We all know that. They bear fruit only for others and not for their own sake. So sometimes we must learn from trees. Upkarishu na sadhu. What is the goodness in a man if he is good to those who helped him? Only such people is considered good, who is kind even to those who have done him harm. It's for this reason sometimes as spiritual people you have to love some of your enemies, because at least you know they are your enemies. And this is the Master saying, even if a mean person gets honor by the association of great people. Just like the fiber is worn on the head by the contact of garland. Bikriti Naim, great men never change their nature though they get into contact with bad things. For instance, Aveshtiyam Mahasapau Chandanana Vikhayate. The sandal tree does not become poisonous though surrounded by serpents. It is said that serpents, they all live. Tanani Jivatam Chai, a wicked man should give up his wealth and life for others' sake. And by so doing, he will change, and a wise man should give up his wealth too and life for others' sake, although he is good. When the destruction of the boat is sure, it is better to sacrifice them for such cause. So we should live for ourselves and others. Manahu Bharvasam Sargaha, the association of great persons elevate all. Satsang. The street water also is adorned by Devata if it is mixed with the Ganges. And we have three kinds of people in the world, sons or daughters. Among the three kinds of sons, unborn, dead and foolish. It is very hard to say it, but it is true. Those who are unborn or dead are preferable. For the first two cause grief but once, while the last give grief at every step. A single sun having good qualities is better than 100 of fools. A single moon destroys the darkness with a group of stars cannot do. Eke napi kulang tatha, even with a single good tree which is full of flowers and fragrance, the whole forest becomes sweet smelling, just as a whole families become famous by one good son, one good child, one good daughter. May these verses be accepted. They are real moral verses for students because they are bound to bring good to us here and hereafter. Tathasti.